Good afternoon, guys. We've had so many great signings. When you think about the history of our club, whether it was the signing in value of Hani Mukhtar as our first DP, the signing in value of Sam Surridge, the recent sale of Johnny Perez. For me, one of the best signings we've had in club history was when we were able to sign BJ Callaghan as our head coach. Very excited about the idea to be able to announce today a contract extension for BJ Callaghan for the immediate future as the head coach of Nashville Soccer Club.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll go into questions. We'll start with Corey here on the end.
Oh, I got to start.
You get to start.
That's all right. Why important to get it locked up now?
So we first started these conversations well before the U.S. Open Cup final. So it's something that as BJ was approaching, kind of completing his first full year here, we were just so happy and overjoyed with the work he's done to try to cement not only his present but his future as well as part of the club.
And Jill, I didn't see you back there, so we'll go to you.
Yeah, you answered why now, but just how could you put into words what this means, why this is so significant for the club?
What's great about what you think the history of our club, and you look at the leadership of John Ingram, Ian Ayre, collectively as a group, talking about when we have people that fit with our club to make sure that not only they are part, like I mentioned earlier, of our present, but also our future. And BJ's been a great partner, excited about the work he's done on the field, not only now, but what we think has kind of the years to come as well.
Go ahead, Lauren.
What is it about the success BJ has had, albeit in a small sample size, that encourages you to re-sign him and think that that can continue?
What's great about BJ as a coach is he understands the modern game from a tactical standpoint. He also understands like the ecosystem, Major League Soccer, and whether that's how to work within identifying and acquiring players that fits what he wants, to also knowing how to integrate players to make sure they understand their roles and that the players that we identify and bring in fit what he's looking for. So, from a tactical standpoint, I think he does that. From a personal standpoint, to me, he's everything that we want in a coach. He's the first guy in the building. I love the idea of trying to race him here. I can count in my hand the number of times I've beaten him here in the morning. He is tireless in his pursuit of trying to make sure that our team is competitive, not just season to season, but day to day. You've seen guys who have been here who've gotten better under his watch, and it's not a coincidence.
Jacob?
You can answer
Okay,
that.
Ben?
Yeah, BJ, first of all, congrats on the extension. Just looking at your time in Nashville so far and looking ahead to what you still want to accomplish, I guess where do you feel like you and the team kind of are in your overall vision?
Yeah, I think obviously I'm grateful to John, Ian, Mike for the opportunity to come here and then the opportunity now to stay here. The other thing I'm really grateful for is the people that I get to work with and alongside. That's the players, the staff, the coaches. And it's really, for me, it's really easy to come to work at Nashville SC. The city's a great place to live. The club is a great place to work. The players are great to work with, the staff and everything. So for me, when you wake up and I beat Mike here every morning, it's because I'm excited to do it and I'm excited to stay. So just grateful for that. Where we want to go is we're ambitious. We're an ambitious club. We have ambitious ownership. And there's no real, I don't think there's any real limit on like where I want this group to go. In professional sports, the ultimate is to win as many times as you can and win as many trophies as you can. And I think that's what we're building. We're building something here that I think can be a long-term sustainable model in the league, a long-term sustainable model of winning. And that's why I'm really proud to be able to continue with Nashville.
Fire?
Mike, from the outside looking in, it seems like the transition to BJ has been smoother than expected. At least that's what it seems to me. Has it been that way, or was it there were rough moments at any time?
I said this recently. To me, BJ's like a DP signing as a coach. I think his ability to blend in to what we were looking for in a manager. As we first started looking at what we thought that the manager of NSC 2.0 would look like, and very quickly it was BJ. There's always a learning curve for any new player, and it's the same thing for staff as well. And I think that BJ was able to hit the ground with his feet running. I think, did it surpass what we expected? I mean, we wouldn't have hired him if we didn't think he was the right person. The first 6 months helped us kind of take inventory of players and staff who we thought could kind of go along the journey with us. And I think the fact that, we've had this transition in our group, not only with a new manager, but with the roster makeover as well. And I think if you're a good group, you don't rebuild, you reload. And for us, we've been able to do that, not only like in the present, but when you see with some of the moves we've made to bring in players that provide sustainability for us for the future as well. I think it bodes really well for who BJ is now and who he'll continue to become as a manager.
Well,
BJ, there's been a lot of conversation in this club about NSC DNA and what that has meant from the beginning and how that's evolved now under your leadership. Through working with Mike and working with this front office, where have you learned about how your values align with the clubs, of members of the organization you're joining, just from a soccer standpoint, and how does that make this place an organization the right fit for you?
Yeah, I think when I was first approached before I came here, you kind of hear about those things, the Nashville DNA and, sort of the mission and the vision. And now having the opportunity to work here for a period of time, like, it's not just words. It's how we kind of do our work every day and how we treat each other. There's a huge amount of humility and selflessness across the entire organization. I would say starting with our owner, John Ingram, all the way down. Humility and selflessness is what we're built on. And then rolling our sleeves up and coming to work every day. Do we get it right every day? No. But are we committed to learning and growing and kind of committed to the vision of what we want to be? Yeah, and I think that's what creates this consistency for us. And allows us to all sort of work together as equals, and that's really refreshing, and I think that's what's going to continue to push us forward.
Steve?
I guess too, if I can sneak in, Mike, to do a contract extension this early, necessarily in his tenure, how important was it to do that and lock him up for even longer than you had? And then from BJ's perspective, to know you have that certainty, how does that help you this year and beyond in building on what you've already done?
I think you've seen it with players that we have here. When we have someone who's been successful, we try to lock them up. It's the same thing with staff. And, BJ mentioned earlier, and I think it's something that echoes throughout the club. I mean, that starts with our owner and about how he wants to conduct business. We always talk about being professional. It's less about how much money you make. It's how you conduct your business. And for us, I think when we have people that we think fit, Will talked about NSC DNA. That's not just players, but staff as well. For us, we want to reward people for work well done and keep as part of our club for a long time.
Yeah, and for me, it's, obviously I think when you're valued, it gives you that confidence to take risks. It gives you that confidence to be bold. That's what we want out of the players. That's what I demand out of the team. And the only authentic way to, I say, express that every day is to do it yourself and lead that way. And I think obviously, having this extension, which I'm really grateful for, is it gives you that confidence and that stability that you have support from management and ownership, and you can go be bold and be brave as a coach, and that can authentically extend to the team. And that's ultimately what we want to see on Saturday nights, is a team that's collectively fighting for the city of Nashville.
Anything else?
BJ, just real quick, I mean, when you take a new job, you think you're a match, you hope you're a match. How long did it take for you to know that you were a match?
Yeah, it's kind of what I alluded to earlier. Obviously, when you go through the beginning of the process, it's there's a part where you're feeling each other out, but you're listening to what they say. I mean, I don't have the exact timeline, but right when you walk in the building and you kind of flick the lights on and you have your first meeting with Mike and sort of the management team, and you kind of start to outline things, you could feel right away how collaborative it was, how open-minded it was to different ideas, and at the same time how you get challenged. You get challenged in a really professional, fair way, but that's what you want. That's how you get better, and that's how we all collectively get better. So it was in a very short time.
BJ, how has your time here impacted you as a coach?
I've grown a lot because I've screwed up a bunch. But again, thankful that I'm in an environment that I can mess up, that I can, sort of at least also show that I'm willing to learn from mistakes and grow. And so, yeah, for me, I think I've grown in different areas. I've never been a head coach before, and the trust that the club gave me, there's certain areas that this job asks that you have to get better at, whether it's, being more forward-facing and seeing you guys, or kind of man management or staff management or everything. So for me, I think it's given me a great opportunity to work on those things that maybe I didn't get as an assistant coach, but ultimately I've been able to grow here because of the support and the opportunity to learn from a lot of mistakes.
We'll do one more with Ben, then we'll switch to the CONCACAF availability kind of thing.
I mean, you've been in Nashville for, I guess, or close to a year and a half at this point. What's, aside from the club and on the field, what's been your favorite part of being in Nashville?
You know, I would say it is the engagement and the passion from when I say the fan base, the fan base, but the collective community. This club matters to the city. And that can't be said at every city across the MLS. And I would say just sort of how, whether it's young people that live in the city, families that live in the suburbs, it has such a wide footprint that everywhere you go, you see license plates and stickers and bars that have the games on and that type of thing. So it feels like the club is really embedded into the fabric of the city. And for us, that I view myself as someone who has been involved in soccer for a long time and has an ultimate responsibility to grow this game across our country. And right now, my turn is to do it inside of Nashville. What a better place to do it.
And Ben, I know you have one more from Mike quickly.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, we've seen some reports about potentially a signing of Rebecca Whiting. Are you able to comment, or you have to keep that quiet?
So I can confirm the reports that a transaction has occurred between ourselves and Seattle, and we have acquired Reed Baker Whiting.